Scott Barrett.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to get up and speak on this one. I wasn't part of the inquiry, but have read the review and have spoken to people out in that part of the world affected by this. And it's interesting, reading the report and speaking to these people gives a very different perspective of renewables and the rollout of renewables as others would like to give you. There's a very Cinderella type, a fairy tale type story about how great these are for everyone, the renewables. But in regional communities, like we see out in the Central-West Orana area, it is a very different story. And that comes out in the findings of this report that, as I say, echo exactly what you speak to people when you go out to places like Gulgong. They tell you that it is having a massive impact on the community. And the finding one tells you that a significant proportion of those communities believe that this is negatively impacting their community. This is tearing communities apart, it's putting neighbour against neighbour, and it's causing serious problems to the social infrastructure of these beautiful towns. Yet still, repeatedly, we hear how wonderful renewables are for everyone, and everyone should embrace them. And if it impacts you a little bit, then that's your duty. But it is the people in these regional communities who are doing the heavy lifting for when it comes to it, a net negative to their communities. Finding 3 is about the consultation, the inadequate consultation that has happened with this rollout. And again, this is echoed right across communities. Any community you go into, any person affected by these will tell you that the consultation has been so inadequate that they don't even... That word to regional communities now has become a dirty word because it's been misused for so many years on so many different issues. I look out at one particular case where during the consultation, a property said, please don't use, and I'm not going to say the name of the property, please don't use my property name for the name of the camp. I don't want that association. Oh, cool, that's a good idea. They went away and ignored it, went and named the camp after that property. A property that had been in that family for 100 plus years is now tainted by the camp that they didn't want next door to them. People rock up at this property thinking that they're driving, at all hours of the day and night, thinking that they're driving into the workers' camp, but they're going into someone's home because that consultation wasn't listened to. In the similar area, they said, how about instead of knocking those trees down that have been left as a nature corridor, you build a road somewhere else? Okay, let's consider that. Nothing happened. And of course, when they knocked those trees down, they killed and orphaned hundreds of native birds in these beautiful big old trees. So it is very clear through this report and through walking through the streets of these communities that the consultation has been inadequate. The impact, finding 4, the impact on the agricultural sector is obvious again, anywhere you go. Swathes of land being deemed unusable for agriculture, properties being cut in half by transmission lines. It is really affecting our agricultural sector, particularly when you look at things like solar and the amount of land that they take up. And you hear people again bang on about how good it is, it creates its own little ecosystem. There was a massive fire out there near Wellington the other day in the middle of one of these that couldn't be dealt with. So I don't know how good that was for the local feedstocks in that area. Insurance is another big one that came up in finding 5. Concerns around the insurance that this has. And I'm speaking to people, not just in the REZ, but outside the REZ as well, who say they can no longer get the insurance to cover the damage that might occur to that property next door. So they can't get the insurance to cover a fire that might start in their place and spread next door. And on top of that, the risk of that fire has also increased. No one can tell me that having these towers, 200-300 metre tall towers in these places, isn't going to affect our ability to fight fires from the air. There's no way that a helicopter or a plane is going to fly through that area in turbines, in low visibility, when these turbines are spinning around. That is going to make a massive difference to the risk of fires in those areas. I want to thank the people that came out for this inquiry Again, I've met some of them that came out and told their stories. Their emotional stories that have been eating away at these people for years. Since the first talk of renewables in their area, next to their place, they have been bleeding emotionally because of these. So I thank them for coming out and telling that story. The other aspect of it is the property values. Now, we've been in budget estimates where we've been told that these can actually have a positive impact on neighbouring properties as when it comes to property values. What a load of garbage. Anyone saying that must be kidding themselves. Anyone that believes that will believe anything, because there is no way putting turbines or solar panels next to your house is not going to reduce the value of that land. So that's another thing that needs to be considered. Thank you to all those people that put the effort into this inquiry, particularly those people impacted by this who are brave enough to come out and tell their stories, tell their sad stories. We need to do better with the rollout of renewables. That's not to say we don't need renewables as part of our energy mix, but it must be done better than we are seeing under this government.